Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks to everyone for joining today. I think we're expecting maybe a few other people to join, but we'll just let them join as they when they can. First, just to introduce myself, my name is Elena Frazier, and I am the 2022 president of AISB. So it's nice to meet everyone, and I think the intent of this webinar, which we just started doing last year actually, and I hosted it as well then while I was vice president, is to give people, longtime members or new members or people considering membership, an opportunity to meet some of the board of directors or officers such as myself, as well as some of our other chapter leaders such as committee chairs, and just kind of get a little refresher on what the chapter's up to. And hopefully that encourages people who are not currently members to join, or even if they don't become a member, to perhaps join a committee, and as well just a chance to connect with all of you. Get my slides. So the agenda for today, just to go over that quickly, I think I'll be talking generally about membership benefits and just some information on the chapter, talk a little bit about chapter finances. A lot of times we get questions about, well, if I pay for my membership, where do my dues actually go? And then the real sort of meat of the webinar today is really to hear from committee chairs or a committee member on what their committee is up to, sort of goals for 2022, and to give everyone a chance to learn more about the committees. To start off, just kind of a fun little quiz for everyone about some chapter statistics. If everyone wants to choose 1, 2, or 3 as the fact about our chapter that is not true. So I'll just read the choices. So 2 of these are true, 1 of them is not. Which one's not? So first option is AISB is the first chapter in California to have an executive committee, meaning officers, with all women officers, president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. In our chapter's 92-year history, AIA Santa Barbara has only had 7 female presidents, or last Luda Marie Riggs was president of AIA Santa Barbara in 1940 and 1952. So if everyone just wants to enter their guess here into the chat box, you can kind of see what everyone thinks as being not true. So interesting, everyone's sort of picking number 2, which actually is in fact true. So in our 92-year history, I am the 7th female president in our chapter's history. And the one that's not true, it's a little bit of a trick question, is number 3. So Luda Maria Riggs was president of our chapter 2 different years, but 1940 and 1953 as opposed to 1952. So anyway, now you know a few little interesting facts about our chapter. And I think the first item on the list, well, 1 and 2 both are something that we're really celebrating this year. So in addition to it being a first for our chapter to have an all-women executive committee, it's also a first for the entire state of California. So I think that's a pretty big deal. So important to share that with everyone today. Moving on to our sort of member benefits and chapter information. So a few more statistics about our chapter that you may or may not know, or I guess about AIA in general. So AIA at the national level, in total, there's approximately 90,000 members. In the state of California, we have just over 11,000 members. And then in Santa Barbara, our chapter, local chapter here, we typically have about 250 active members at any one time. And that's made up of, we have 4 different membership types. So we have architect members for licensed and practicing architects who make up about half of our membership. We also tend to have 60 to 70 allied members, and allied members are people who work in related professions but are not architects themselves, engineers, contractors. A lot of times we have people who are in material, product suppliers, that kind of thing. So we have quite a few of those members as well, which we really welcome because it kind of broadens our circle. We have 30 to 40 associate members. So that would be our emerging professionals, those younger professionals on their way towards licensure but are not yet licensed. And then lastly, but definitely not least, we also have 20 to 30 emeritus members. So practicing architects or formerly practicing architects who may not be actively practicing anymore. We're also the 10th largest chapter in the state of California. We're proud to say that we have 15 fellows who are either current or past members of our chapter. We have 21 board directors, some of whom you'll meet today. We have one fantastic executive director named Tara Rizzi, who usually would be here with us today, but she is on vacation this week, so unable to join, but hopefully you'll have a chance to meet her at some time. And she really keeps this whole ship moving forward. We have one AIA California Council board representative, Thomas Harshberger, who I believe may be joining us later today or is already on the call. Oh, I think I see Thomas's name. Yeah, thanks for joining today, Thomas. Sure. And thanks for representing us at the state level. Mm-hmm. Also, we've got about 13 active committees, all run by volunteers. We have one chapter house. We'll learn a little bit more about that later. And then boundless energy and devotion to service since 1929. So mission statement. I think it's important to kind of know why we're all here, and this really guides a lot of our committee work and really any of the work that we do on behalf of the chapter. At AIA National, has its own mission statement, as does California, and ours, I'll just read it here. It's something that we revisit every few years to make sure that we're, that it really expresses our values and our objectives. So the AIA Santa Barbara chapter serves our members, the profession of architecture, and the community by promoting design excellence, professional development, education, and environmental and social equity. And just last year, we decided to sort of supplement that with these 5 key objectives that, again, are really guiding all of our efforts. And those include cultivating equity, diversity, and inclusion, advancing climate action and environmental sustainability, educating the community and our membership, advocating for positive change in the built environment, and promoting design excellence and local expertise. So what does AIA membership provide? This is a list that I put together, and nothing shocking on the list, but I think it's quite an impressive list. So, AIA membership gives us all opportunities to learn, network, volunteer, advocate locally and nationally, be recognized, be inspired. I think as we go through this meeting, I'll have some of our committee chairs sort of tell what their sort of personal most important membership benefit is, and oftentimes it's just about being connected to a really great group of peers. And then lastly, and I think this is a big one, have an impact on the profession and the community. So beyond our day-to-day work, where we are already having that impact, involvement in our chapter really allows you to have an impact on a sort of broader level. Some of our major programs that we have going on currently, as well as for some time now. So weekly, we put out a newsletter that includes both local chapter information about events or just other sort of noteworthy news. And it also includes regional events or info that we think would be of interest to our members. Monthly, we host continuing education webinars. Typically, there's a women's conversation group, committee meetings, emerging professional study group, meetings with city and county staff or politicians. And as well, Thomas meets with the AIA California Council at their board meetings. Annually, we have 4 general meetings. We host the Design Awards program. We host the Luda Marie Riggs Service Award. Architect tours, we'll hear a little bit more about that later as well. And then Grassroots is actually an AIA national event that members of our board attend each year. And it's a way for our local chapter to stay connected to the efforts that are going on at the national level. And then lastly, in addition to all of those, which are regular events, we always have a variety of special events. So last year, for example, if you may recall the Candidates Forum that our advocacy committee hosted, or the year before that, the Downtown Santa Barbara Charrette. I just wanted to quickly point out, so all of those events, if you go to our website, which I'll pull up here briefly, can be found on our calendar. I also highly recommend visiting the website. Our website's got lots of other great information. I'm trying to pull it up here. Here we go. So again, there's information on all of the committees that you'll hear more about today. Various other resources, including a job board to post job openings for your office, a list of members, and then here under events, for example, you can find the calendar, which is where we post all of our events. So anyway, highly recommend that you use that as a resource. And then I also just wanted to quickly point out this resource as well, which I can share the link to in the chat box at the end of the call. So this is a document that AIA National puts out about the various benefits of being a member. And it's lengthy, but good. But my most favorite part about it is at the very end, they have this directory of web links that take you to information on all of these other categories, of benefits. So various links about continuing education, advocacy, industry research, business and career resources. So just a ton of resources and information that's also available at the national level. So I highly recommend that everyone, refer to this document and all of those links, which come with membership. Okay, where did my slides go? Here we go. Oh no, that's not it. Sorry, let me just find it. Oh. There we go. And then lastly, one other resource I wanted to mention to everyone, because you may not know, so we do have a physical chapter house location here in town. It's on Victoria Street. And Tara's office is located there. And additionally, there's an art gallery space. In pre-COVID times, it's where the board would hold their monthly meetings. There's a back patio that can be a great outdoor meeting space. And all of those are available for members' use for AI activities. So I know emerging professionals have held study sessions there, or advocacy has held a variety of meetings, but it's a great resource that we have available to our members, again, for AI related activities. So if you're interested in using it for something, just reach out to Tara and she can help coordinate that. So spending just a few minutes on dues, because again, we do get questions about that. So at the national level, when you pay your dues, you might notice there's a chunk of it that goes to national, a chunk that goes to state, and then a small portion of it that comes to our local chapter. So at the national level, you can see that member dues are actually only 25% of the income at the national level. The rest comes through the sales of products, such as our contracts, other events, that kind of thing, building rent, and then other conferences and events. In terms of how that money gets spent at the national level, again, and this is all reported on their website if you're interested in more detail. So you can see that, the majority of the money, about 3/4, is spent on member and chapter support, professional development, or providing products and services to members. About 13% is spent on advocacy efforts, and then about 15% on administration and overhead and staff. Locally, our picture looks somewhat similar, although you can see that member dues are about 30% of our income. And we also run the Santa Barbara County Archives. This may be something that people are not familiar with. So Santa Barbara County Building Department some years ago asked if we would be interested in sort of managing the art drawing archive of all past projects submitted for permits. So we took that on and now have a space out closer to off the Turnpike exit. That's a county building, and Dennis Whalen, who's a member and an amazing volunteer, now runs that. And it's a great resource for the community. So people who are interested in, finding a drawing of their home or a building that they're working on can go out to the archive. Dennis helps them find the documents if they exist, and then those are available for reprographic services. And that actually brings in about 20% of our chapter's income. So again, a great resource for the community, but also something that helps fund our chapter. And then the rest of the income mostly comes from our major events. So design awards, the annual gala, and architect tours, which again, we'll hear from the architect tours chair in just a few minutes. Lastly, on this sort of finance topic, expenses. So generally, where do your dues go? If you choose to be a member, so from all of that income, about 35% goes towards salaries and wages for Tara, as well as we also have a bookkeeper. Goes towards overhead, which includes paying rent at our chapter house and other resources there. There's expenses related to the archive, and then the remainder goes towards hosting events. And here, before we kind of jump into the committee work, I think the bottom line for me, not so much about on the money, is that staying active, staying connected, getting involved. I really think this is the type of organization where the more you put in, the more you get out. So as I've grown my involvement over the last 4 years, I've really seen how growing a connection to our community of peers has really benefited me just personally and professionally. So again, get involved. And on that note, it's time to kind of hear from our committee chairs or members who are here kind of representing committees today. We're going to hear from our EDI committee member. We're going to hear from our emerging professionals chair and advocacy co-chair, our co-chair, and our architect tours chair. And Paul Rupp is here representing EDI. I know he was potentially joining from a site visit, and I'm just looking for his name here, and I'm not seeing it. Paul, are you on the call? No. Okay. Well, then maybe we'll skip over EDI for now, and hopefully he'll join later, and maybe we can jump to emerging professionals. I do think that Vandana and Steve are with us today. Are you guys there?
Yes. Hi. So yes, me and Steve are here in a little blurb about what we do. So thank you. And I'm Vandana, and I've been part of the Emerging Professionals for maybe 2 years now. So this year, the resounding theme for Emerging Professionals has been collaboration, and most specifically, it's learning through collaboration. And so we're focusing on collaborating with our other very active committees at our local chapter in encouraging participation amongst our EPs, and also creating learning opportunities. And some examples of that are firm tours, which I think are very encouraging in meeting new EPs and learning from each other. And also, we think there's a huge resource of mentors in our local chapters. So we will also be working on organizing events where this sort of knowledge sharing between mentors and EPs is possible. And yeah, and I'll let Steve tell us a little bit more about our other activities. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Diaz, and yeah, I'm helping out with the EPs, and right now helping out on the part of just getting study materials and getting people ready for taking the architectural exam, but also trying to also include like a live work balance, because there's a decent amount of us that definitely work really hard, but also at the same time we want to also enjoy life. So some of us are actually doing bike rides or organizing bike rides now, so that might expand to maybe some kayak tours, as well as maybe doing some tours down in LA, because there's some really nice, again, houses or the Getty to take some EPs out to. So while we're also studying for the exam, but also do something fun and get to know all the different buildings that are around, especially for people like me that are transplants from the Bay Area that don't know this area very well. So that's just some of the things that at least I'm hoping to instigate or try to do during this year as well.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Vandana. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun and a good idea. Before we move on, Vandana, just to put you on the spot, I'll be asking this of all our committee representatives, just to share, you know, what your sort of personal most valued membership benefit is since you've been a member of AIA Santa Barbara.
Right. So apart from the opportunity to meet very talented professionals in the local chapter and learning about what they do and also being inspired by them, it has also been an opportunity to learn beyond what I'm working on every day. There's always something more that I learned through participation at the local chapter, and I really appreciate that because learning can come in many forms. Thank you.
Well said. Thanks, Vandana. All right, let's hear from our advocacy committee co-chair, Cass Ensberg. Welcome, Cass.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
You don't see me, right? But you can hear
No,
me.
I can see you as well.
You can?
Uh-huh.
Gosh, okay. I can only see you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm not sure who all is here. So anyway, greetings everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm Cass Ensberg, and I'm one of the 3 advocacy chairs. I'm a co-chair along with Debbie Pikert and Ellen Bilston. I don't know if they are here. I think Debbie was going to try to be here, but I was asked to give this report, and I've written up a bunch of things. We're doing a lot, so I have a lot to share. I'll try to be brief. I'm going to give you an overview of the goals and the benefits of advocacy, AIASB advocacy. And our goal is to be guided by our AIASB mission statement, which Elena read earlier, to serve the members, the profession, and the community by promoting design excellence, professional development, education, and environmental and social equity. And we read this every time we have a meeting, just to keep it really focused in our minds of what we're, what the big picture is. Advocacy is generally focused on and responds to pertinent regulatory issues specifically related to our work as architects. We have subcommittees that are sometimes created as appropriate for whatever the issues the committee feels need to be addressed. Some of these were mentioned earlier. We've worked on the accessory dwelling unit ordinances, the AUD, multi-unit housing development, objective design standards, stormwater management regulations, charrettes to study housing density and public open space, and the candidates forum, the Santa Barbara election candidates forum are ones that were mentioned. Our teams include architects and other design professionals and experts and community members. All are welcome. It's all about learning, communication, and collaboration. We meet with city long-range planning staff. We write letters. We speak in public settings to planning commission, ordinance committee, to the mayor and city council, county board of supervisors, and others. Our primary committee, we have a primary advocacy committee that has 17 members right now, and we meet via Zoom every other Monday for the most part. Sometimes we have an extra meeting. We are focused on planning and development ordinance and regulation improvements related to the built environment, and a lot of it's about housing. Most of the recent issues and discussions have been about multi-unit housing regulations governing open yard, landscaping, and parking. Right now, we are in the process of writing a letter to the mayor and council regarding the FAR, floor area ratio. This development metric will be discussed next Tuesday, and many of us are writing letters on our own. I would encourage all of you to do the same and preparing to speak at that hearing. This is a discussion that has been a long time in the making, and it will be the ultimate decisions will be the ones that will regulate the density in Santa Barbara and will be a determining factor in whether Santa Barbara will be successful in achieving the housing that is so much needed. We also have a subcommittee to oppose the proposed UCSB Munger Hall dormitory. This was initially brought to our attention by member Kent Mixon. This is an 11-story block structure with 4,500 beds and windowless sleeping rooms. Our team is comprised of 13 members who meet every Friday. Right now, Elena and I are the co-chairs on this committee, and the work is to cause the university to abandon this project as proposed and to design a new building that will provide a more healthy and safe environment for students with provision for natural light and air that respects and embraces the overall community. We have written letters and we're reaching out to the Chancellor, the Coastal Commission, the UC Regents, UCSB Faculty Senate, Student Association, other AIA chapters. We've gotten support from AIA LA and AIACA plus the media. The proposed Munger Hall has also brought to our attention the need for an emergency code correction. This is a really huge deal, but this is what happens. We're like the canary in the coal mine. In 2017, when the building codes were overhauled, it appears that an inadvertent oversight occurred that extended the use or expanded the use of artificial light to all occupancies, whether habitable or not. Although the previous code requirements for natural light remain in effect for hospitals, correctional treatment centers, and juvenile facilities. So the committee is working now also to get this information before the proper authorities to cause an immediate correction. And we are meeting with AIACA on February 22. I also am, we're really delighted that we have Code Authority, former City Code official Roy Hawthorne is a key member of this committee and is helping us. And I just have a couple more things to mention and then I'll stop.
Okay, yeah, Cass, we're running out of time.
Okay.
I know you have a lot to report, so maybe just pick one more thing that you want to share. And then I'll have you share your sort of most personal valued membership benefit. And then at the end, if there's people have additional questions or you want to share more, and we've got some minutes, that'd be great.
Yeah. I'll just say we have a couple of members who are serving on objective design standards to expand architectural styles in Santa Barbara. And we have a State Street Advisory, State Street Master Plan Support Committee also. And I just in ending say that the work can be very time consuming and intense, but I can attest, and this is to your question, it's highly rewarding for the opportunities to learn about these matters that matter so much and to, you know, really learning. And I've learned so much in all of this and to have the opportunity to work collaboratively together. So that's it. Let us know if you have any interest and everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cass. I'll just flash this and so we'll move on, but this was a summary that the advocacy committee put together about all their work last year. So as everyone can tell, obviously a really active committee with a lot of different activities going on. Thanks, Cass. All right. Committee on the Environment. We've got Ed DeVicenti, co-chair, and I guess Dee too. Welcome, Dee Carawan, co-chair as well. Thanks for joining today.
Thanks, Elena, and good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, excited to be here. We've got a lot going on the Committee on the Environment, and it's been a really exciting past couple of years, a lot to catch up on. And as quick as we've been able to get information, we've been feeding back out to you members with resources, updated the webpage, posting a lot of these resources. Check it out if you haven't seen it, as well as being a conduit for a lot of the fantastic trainings, webinars, and opportunities to learn that are out there. So I'll boil it down to three things. Sustainable practice assistance. This is one of our key efforts. Right now, our highlights are the 2030 commitment. And working through the information and inputting your projects to that. We'd love as many firms as we can in the chapter to join that. So Paul Poirier will be helping with that later this month to get people up and running. And part of that is a sustainability action plan that you can create for your firm. So we'll be helping as well with that. There's some great models out there we can grab from other firms nationally that you can kind of personalize. And also marketing high performance, as we've all been learning about how to design better buildings. How do we then improve that to the marketplace and improve, how do we market that for our firms? So the next piece is just holistic design. So how do we integrate all these sustainable design solutions into our projects? And that's a lot through the training. So we'll continue to do those, but some areas of focus this year are net zero and kind of beyond, and electrification, so now required in some of our jurisdictions. Low carbon design, this is a big one that really gained some momentum last year and it's really gotten refined. There's some great webinars and resources out there and tools. Locally, we're keeping working on our best practices to kind of how to synthesize all of that to, hey, here's how every basic building in our region should be constructed, at least as a starting point with details, methodologies, products, and things. So, and then water-wise, integrating to our natural environment, as well with water, biophilic design, all these kinds of things. So a lot of great information there. There's a lot of resources already, and we'll be bringing more exciting stuff as well. And lastly, kind of connection. So connection is really, it's really what's bubbled to the surface after the last couple of years as what's critical for this part of our practice. So it's easy to just become an expert in sustainability or just sit in your office and watch webinars all the time. but really the real excitement is with connecting with others. And so this, I'm going to tie into what's my most valuable membership benefit too, is really that collaboration with other firms, other professionals that I don't work with on a daily basis. This is where it's really, it gets exciting. So a big push this year, the main focus beyond the other things we've been continuing to do, what we'll continue to do, is really creating opportunities for more discussions around all these topics. We'll connect with other community groups, Central Coast Green Building Council, for example. A lot of overlap with them. Cash is our next committee chair. He's president this year. There's a green drink tonight in Carpinteria. So that's the stuff we'll be integrating kind of as our groups, along with trainings, webinars, and things. And other community groups as well we'll be liaising with. Jurisdictions, there's a lot of connection there to just help them with their sustainability goals and programs, and then educating the broader public too, in particular around electrification, really helping to, just kind of have a best practices, eliminate the fear of what this means, and what great products and solutions are out there. So that is just a brief kind of summary of what we're up to. There's a lot going on, and there's so much going on, Dee and I can't do it. So we've got a great committee already. We'd love to get more committee members, and we're going to be breaking subcommittees out to whatever you're interested in. So people don't have to be involved in all of this. What your area of interest and focus is, you can collaborate with the subcommittees on that, and just so our heads don't explode, because it's a lot to take on. One other thing to note too is 2023 is when California starts a requirement for licensure renewal. You need 5 hours of net zero training too. So those programs aren't clear yet. They'll become more clear at what the offerings are as the year goes on, and we'll be sure to be bringing that to everyone as well.
Thanks so much, Ed. That was a great, I know it's hard for everyone to squeeze all of your work into a couple minutes here, so I appreciate it. And I wanted to reiterate it, one of the benefits that you were mentioning, which I think is knowledge sharing, between firms, between professionals. And I think there's a lot of that happening. And again, I personally also feel that's one of the great things about being a member. All right, architect tours, Cash Upton.
Hey folks, good to be with you today. Thanks for the plug, Ed. The Green Building Council is really excited to collaborate more too, and do best practices and all that. And we do have a green drinks mixer every second Wednesday down at the apiary. So come talk about sustainability and just have that community vibe. But in terms of architect tours, I really love it. This will be my second year as chair, and I just really appreciate all of the thoughtful design and showcasing the intention that goes behind a lot of some of the most beautiful buildings in the country that are just right here in our backyard. So it's really been a pleasure to actually get to go on site to these homes and offices and community facilities that have really been thoughtfully designed. So that's something that I really love about it. This year, it will be in October this year. We will be sending out a survey to members to just get some feedback on if there's any pertinent theme ideas that people think are most pressing to cover this year to have as our showcase. And then also getting feedback on in-person or online or a hybrid option. We had a really successful virtual tour last year, which I think was great because we actually got to interact with the designers and the architects and have kind of like a panel discussion and really get into the mindset of the design and why it was the way it was. And that I think had a lot of value. So maybe we're doing smaller groups in person, so there's not 300 people going between people's houses, but that is something that we're trying to get some feedback on as well. And then I'd also, love to encourage all of you, if you're interested, we're very welcoming. We'd love to have your support. We're looking for some help on the committee, ranging from helping with sponsorship to logistics to some media and marketing outreach to even some graphics. So there really is a place for everyone on the committee. So please do let me know if you're interested in participating, and we'll send out more info in the next month or two as we start to ramp up. And for me personally, just the thing that I love most about this AIA chapter especially is the impetus on committees, and especially the Committee on the Environment and the Advocacy Committee, and really just showing how thoughtful design can really change people's lives for the better. And I really love that about this chapter.
Thanks so much, Cash. So I think that brings us to the end here. I'm going to circle back to EDI. I don't think that Paul Rupp was able to make it here in the end, but I just want to, so I'll do my best to speak on their behalf. And one of the things that Paul, I know, wanted to mention was the committee's mission statement. So I'll read that here. AISB EDI committee strives to create a more just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive design community in Santa Barbara at the individual, firm, and public levels. The EDI committee actually is one of our newer committees. Laura Bernard is the chair. She's a local practicing architect. And I want to say that this committee formed in 2020. Some of their main sort of action items and things that their ongoing work are education, which includes a pledge and a toolkit for offices. And that's something that you can find on the EDI committee website, on the AIA Santa Barbara website. Mentorship is a big part of this committee's effort. So Paul Rupp in particular sort of heads that effort up on behalf of the chapter. And then a few other items on their sort of goals list for 2022 include design review representation, state and national outreach, AISB internal. So that's really focusing on our own organization and making sure that awareness and diversity and inclusion are part of our day-to-day work. And then lastly, housing justice. I know that's a personal passion of Laura's, who's the EDI chair. So again, another really fantastic committee that's doing a lot of important work locally. All right, I am sorry to flip through slides like that. So just quickly, another way to be involved is and another opportunity for leadership at AISB is board of directors. So we have a 21 director board. Each year we call, there's a call for self-nomination. So board terms are 1 year long. Many people serve many more years than that, and others serve shorter terms. But again, each year there's an opportunity to join that group of leadership if it's something that interests you. And today, actually, on the call, we have a few of our other officers besides myself, which I thought it would be nice if you guys can turn your camera on for a second. I think we've got our treasurer, Amy Tripp, here today, and our secretary, Alyssa Overjorgi. If you guys are still on the call. Or meeting, I should say. Oh, it looks like maybe Alyssa dropped off. Well, anyway, these are the officers for this year. And this could be you. So anyway, another opportunity for leadership in our chapter. So again, that brings us kind of to the end of the presentation content. If anyone has questions for myself or any of the committee chairs, we'd love to hear that now. All right, well, maybe I'll ask a question of the group. Is there anyone here today that is not a current member and wants to raise their hand? Looks like we've got all, oh, I see, we've got one. Oh yeah, Kat. Hey there, Kat. Kat's a colleague of mine at Blackbird Architects. Thanks for joining today. I just wanted to mention for those who aren't members, that, you know, committee work, you don't need to be a member to participate on a committee. So if any of the committee's activities were of interest today, you know, you don't, while we'd love to have you as a member, you don't have to be one to participate. So we're always looking for volunteers, members or not.
Great, thank you. Great presentation, everyone. Lots of really good information.
All right, well, if there's no other questions, then I think we're all wrapped up today, but thanks again for joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Tara. Her email's here at the bottom of the screen, or again on our website, and as well, committee chair email addresses, I believe, are also on the website. So if you wanted to reach out to a committee directly, you're more than welcome to do that. All right, thanks everyone. Look forward to seeing you at other events throughout the year.